Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session for a client that would quite often sabotage their efforts to be creative or to do certain endeavors that could lead to a big impact in the world. So whereas sometimes they could do things that were for their primary work, if they felt that they could tap into a feeling of making an impact, the problem is that their dreams felt a little less real and a little less tangible. So in this particular hypnosis session, it's designed to create a feeling of motivation and inspiration, even for those things that seem far-fetched or too grand as a big of an idea. And there's two ways of thinking about big dreams. One is disempowering, which is an attitude of almost, is it really going to happen? You know, it's got that intonation of doubt, disbelief, feels like a pipe dream, wishful thinking. But there's another way of thinking about big dreams and huge ambitions, and that is through the tonality of possibility. Almost, what if? What if that thing did happen? What could happen? And when you start attaching a tonality of time passes anyway, but if you do those things that could lead to amazing dreams, then at least there's the possibility of something amazing happening. Whereas if you just kind of do the day-to-day life, the time will pass anyway. So why not do something that takes your life in the very direction that you want to take it? So this session is called The Impact of Inspiration, and it's really designed for anyone that has a big dream, a big goal for their life, but feel like they can't always get into that state where they're making progress towards it. So find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just get a sense that stress, tension, worries are leaving your body in your outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a glass sand timer. I want you to imagine the color of the sand in that sand timer, the size of that sand timer, and I want you to imagine it's rotated so the sand is at the top, and you're seeing the grains of sand trickle down from the top to the bottom. As you breathe in and breathe out, just get a sense that you're becoming more and more resourceful, that you're letting go of tension, that you're accessing a wonderful state of calm resourcefulness. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a place that you consider creative. Maybe it's a study. Maybe it's somewhere in nature where you just get good inspiration and ideas. I want you to get a sense that you're in that place now, feeling like you're in your body, but in that location of creative inspiration. Notice the depth, the speed, the rhythm of your breathing. Just imagine the sands of time continue to fall, but you're in this creative place. As you accept the suggestion that whether you focus on creative, inspiring work, or just doing things that waste time, the grains of sand will fall anyway. And I wonder what would happen if we unlocked a deep sense of inspiration and motivation within you. That as you breathe in and breathe out, surrounded by the very things that you would see when you're in a space of creativity, that your inner drive and determination are increasing as you breathe in and breathe out. I want you to accept the idea that there is a difference between potential and actual. There's a difference between capability and reality. And I want you to accept that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. But that capability means nothing without implementation. In fact, wouldn't it be a tragedy if some of the great artists or musicians that's ever lived kept that capability to themselves and didn't allow the world to see what they could do with that capability and that potential? I want you to imagine that each day you're becoming more and more inspired and motivated, not because you should, just because you could. As you breathe in and breathe out, create a clear vision of the possible impact of you doing your finest work. What could happen? In fact, what could happen and you would never know it happened? But it could happen as a direct consequence of you doing what you love, turning your capabilities into realities. And as you start to live, you can find sources of inspiration and motivation wherever you look. In a conversation, in a story, in a daydream. And if creativity truly is infinite, a resource that never ends, aren't you simply a conduit for turning inspiration, having it go through your talents, your skills, your unique perspective on life, and then converting it into something that can connect and resonate and impact other people. I want you to let go of any fears or doubts that you may have that are holding you back. And that voice of doubt that might say, really? You're really going to have an impact? What would happen if that tonality shifted to, really? You're going to have an impact. Same words, different emotion. Or imagine the words that sometimes you say to yourself to take the wind out of your sails. Just imagine them saying them to you, and notice how it amplifies a feeling of desire to prove them wrong and to do what you know you're capable of doing. Your confidence and self-belief are growing stronger with each passing moment. You're energized and motivated to not just take on a challenge, but to create your own challenges. Your inner creativity and imagination are infinite, but you're increasing your desire to tap into the infinite well of ideas and inspiration. I want you to imagine that your mindset is like a garden, and you're creating a desire to pull out the weeds at their roots and to nurture this garden of inspiration and ideas so it's a place you like spending time in. When you take out the weeds, there are opportunities for new, wonderful things to grow. And the great thing about doing something that doesn't work is it gives you feedback and new information so you can learn from mistakes and setbacks and use them as fuel for your inspiration and motivation. And every day that you take steps towards achieving your dreams and aspirations creates a feeling of momentum. Notice the more organized you become with your time, the more time you get to spend in the garden of ideas in your mind. I want you to give permission to yourself to make mistakes with your time, to work on ideas that don't work out, knowing that if just one idea turns into something that has a chain reaction, then it could have a profound and wonderful impact on someone that you may never meet, you may never hear from, but could change their life forever. Take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your nose, and imagine you're staring into the grains of sand of a sand timer with just a few grains left. Reminding you that time is precious and the only resource of yours that isn't infinite. You can choose to use that time for you or to stay exactly where you are. Feel like you're returning to the present as you take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, all parts returning to the present as I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox. the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.